over motivated for my second cup of coffee. And be like, oh, sorry, I probably just woke you up again by apologizing. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm logging off. Oh my God, I'm so excited. What is it?
It's called the Shiny Things list.
I'm like, you don't think I'm loving? I'm like... Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths.
Hey y'all, it's that time again. Agent Systems is back, available on March 8th for a limited time. Putting good systems in place is going to help build confidence if you're new, and systems will get your time back if you're overworked. If you aren't sure what to do first to put your business on the right path, then this is the course for you. And y'all know I love a good review, so here is one from Leanne. So let me just say, I am so pumped. I just did the intro and lesson 1 and cannot believe the amount and quality of the resources that Katie is reviewing and putting at our fingertips. And this is coming from someone who's been around and in real estate practically her whole life. Wow. The doors are opening, you guys, on March 8th, and I won't be offering Agent Systems again until August. So if this is the summer you want to be your best, head on over to agentsystems101.com to learn more. Can't wait to see you there. Hi.
Hey, Katie.
How's it going, Alyssa?
It's going great.
Okay, it's episode number 134.
Okay.
I haven't named it yet. I'm going to see how it goes.
No, we did come up with a name.
What did you call it? Oh, you did.
Time and time again. Because today we have Anna Dearmon Kornick with us.
Correct.
To talk about time again.
You should have kept up her bio and just read it.
I know. That
was a failure.
Oh, no, I have it right here.
Oh, perfect. Hold, please, while Alyssa gets the bio for Anna Dearmon Kornick.
Short, medium, or long.
Okay, which one? So she is so organized. She sent me to a website that has a short, a medium, and a long bio. You want 50 or how about short or medium? You pick.
Give me medium.
Okay.
92 words. Coming at
ready?
you.
Oh, this is great. Okay.
Thank you.
Anna Dearmon Kornick is a time management coach, wife, and mom who helps busy professionals and business owners master time management so they can stop feeling overwhelmed and start spending time on what matters most. As the host of It's About Time, a podcast about work, life, and balance, Anna shares time management tips, productivity strategies, and real-life advice to help her listeners make the most of their time. In addition to teaching actionable takeaways, Anna interviews other go-getters to find out how they navigate family, friends, fulfilling careers, and full schedules.
Oh my God, all the F's. The alliteration was on point.
Thank you.
So good.
So good.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to add anything to that, Anna?
I think that just about
That
covers
covers
it.
it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Wonderful.
so
In
Anna
92 words.
Anna, in 92 words or less.
Yes.
Anna was with us once before on episode 22, way back in the infancy of both of our podcasts.
Yeah, it really was.
So now we're like old hats.
Mm-hmm.
So
Old hats.
Well,
hats.
and life has changed so much since episode 22.
No doubt.
And
Yeah.
time has changed, and
Everything.
just with like the pandemic, and there was
Yeah.
nothing on your schedule, and now we're getting things added back to our schedule, and
Yeah.
people are having trouble adjusting. I am.
You are. You
Yeah,
want Anna to
I am having
therapize
trouble
you.
adjusting. Podcast therapy.
Alyssa needs some therapy on time. Okay, so before we get into that, will you just give us a little background on what you do currently?
Sure.
And I don't know, whatever you want to tell us about your current situation.
The current. So it is really crazy. I love Time and Time Again. That's a perfect fit. And life really has changed so much since the first time we met up. I don't think I had published my first episode of the podcast yet.
Oh my God.
I think
You were still recording.
I was still in the
Wow.
early recording phases. It's so funny. I seriously think I wore a blazer to come to your house to record.
I just remember you had really cute jeans and boots on.
Thank
Oh,
you.
sure did.
And
She
because
did.
I bought the jeans after.
Oh,
'Cause
I
we
love
talked
that.
about it.
Plus blazer.
I cannot remember
I
the
love a
last
blazer.
time I wore like a blazer to something.
Well, you were very official.
because of how life has just changed.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and today you just
Nothing
walk right
is
in.
that professional anymore. Like nothing
Right.
is that serious anymore.
No,
Yeah.
we're just not that
Everyone's
serious.
casual now.
everything is so much more casual now. So that to me, like that's one big change that's happened. Things are much more casual. I own way more pairs of joggers than I did when we came last time. I only had one child last time.
Yeah.
You also had a giant notebook last time.
I did. I had talking points.
Now we're just like, let's chat it up.
I know.
Yeah.
I literally just walked into your house.
Right.
Today. Like you just were like, ding, ding, walked right in. I was like, oh, she's here. She's
Hi.
here.
Yeah.
Hi.
It is like a lot has changed. So something else that has changed. So I am still a time management coach. I am still host of It's About Time. All of those things have changed. I'm still a wife and mom, although now I'm a mom to 2 girls instead of just one, which is definitely an adventure. Having a 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
I mean, you kind of can.
Almost, but it's a big difference.
It is.
It's a big difference having a 5-year-old helper.
True, because I do not have a 5-year-old helper. I have a 3-year-old who says no to everything. But so in addition to those changes, I'd say the biggest change is that back in September of 2021, I stepped into a new role as head of community for an amazing company called Clockwise. Clockwise is a time orchestration tool, and the company is on a mission to help the world make time for what matters by helping you to find more focused time in your day. So Clockwise learns your schedule, learns your preferences, learns the preferences and schedules of your team members, and rearranges meetings that can be flexible so that you can create longer blocks of time to focus in your day. So as a result of moving about 4 million meetings, Clockwise has created 2 million hours of focus time for its customers. Like,
This is like right up your alley.
oh, it's amazing.
Right. It's like
Wow.
if a company was created to follow your mission, this was the one.
I just
How did they find you or you find them?
it's really funny. A lot of times whenever, I have this website contact form, where
Okay.
someone can, on my contact page, or somebody can send me a message. Most of the time it's spam, not gonna lie.
Same. Yeah.
Most of the time it's
Mhm.
spam. When people want to email me, they typically just email me.
Right.
And there was a message in my inbox from my website contact form from a guy named Fran who wants to talk to me about coming to work for a company named Clockwise. And I'm like, this is fake.
Spam.
This is fake.
Right.
This has got to be fake. And so I did some Googling and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait any longer. Let's just find this out. I wrote back to him within 5 minutes and said, all right, let's talk this afternoon. And so we set up a call that very day.
Wow.
I'm still not exactly sure how they found me. I will tell you that I did have some thoughts about time management and work-life balance published in a Washington Post article earlier that week. So
Oh.
I do wonder if
That was the link.
that might have been the link,
Ah.
because as a result of that Washington Post article, I did start to get more speaking invitations and more podcast interviews. And it just was a really amazing opportunity. And so after over the course of about a month and a half talking with Fran, the conversation went from providing thought leadership content on a contract basis to joining the team full time. And so now in my role as head of community, I am leading the company's social media strategy. I'm developing our community strategy. I am the face of our YouTube channel. I also host a live office hours time management
How do you
workshop
do it all?
and communication.
I have so many questions about how you do it all.
I know.
It's a lot. Yeah.
amazing.
So anyway, I do those things.
Are they flexible with your hours?
So I am, the company keeps a Pacific time schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pacific working hours
Yeah.
is the best way to put it. And so one of the ways that I really organize my time and streamline the way that I think about everything is that from 9 until 11, that is focused ADK coaching and podcasting time.
Okay.
And then starting at 11 is when I switch over into clockwise mode because it's 9 o'clock Pacific.
Okay.
And so that's when my clockwise day begins.
When does your clockwise day end since they're in Pacific? Are you
Sure. So my clockwise day ends at, let's see, I think So that would be at about 7. And so typically one of the great things about Clockwise, the product, is that it enables you to set meeting preferences, the hours within your workday that you are willing to do meetings.
Right.
And so my meeting preferences are set so that I typically don't have any meetings after 5:30 or 6. I actually have one today, our time.
Okay.
I actually have a meeting today from
Makes sense.
5:30 to 6, but
Okay.
it's actually a pretty rare occasion.
Right.
And then in that time from 5:30 to 7, maybe I'll be wrapping something up. But typically I'm just sort of on call with, I've got my Slack out. I'm responding to messages, but I'm not engaged in deep work during that time.
Wow.
So that's how I do both.
Very interesting.
It is very interesting. As a mom now of 2 children
Mm-hmm.
and now basically 2 roles
Mm-hmm.
that are, at least they coincide in the topic and the subject matter. So
Yeah.
It's not like left field and right field.
Exactly.
It's all in the center.
Overlaps.
Right. Okay. But where are your challenges? I guess I want to,
Yeah.
because we are all always trying to figure out multiple roles as realtors and moms, or, maybe you have a side hustle, or maybe some realtors, they come on part-time to start with. Like how do you navigate that?
Yeah. So I'd say that the first critical piece of the puzzle is having an ideal week in place. So an ideal week is essentially a framework or a template for how you want to spend your time in the week ahead. My ideal week maps out when I will specifically work on Clockwise, when I will specifically work on ADK. And not only that, I also, at the beginning of each week, as a result of doing a weekly planning session, I identify how I'm going to time block the different Clockwise and coaching responsibilities within those 2 sections of my day.
So doing your ideal week is pretty pivotal every week. Like you can't skip that step.
Yeah, it's really the weekly planning session. The ideal week, in a way,
is your
the
okay.
ideal week is it's not a one and done, because you really have to go back and reevaluate it every time you have a major change in your life.
Yeah.
So, for example, every time Bitsy's my youngest, every time her feeding schedule changed, my ideal week would change because her feeding schedule impacted how I spent my time during the day. So there were a lot of changes leading up to her being about, 6 to 9 months old. But now I've got an ideal week in place that doesn't change. The core of it doesn't change that much from week to week, but it's what goes within those time blocks. And that's what that weekly planning session time is for. I have podcast episodes about an ideal week and a weekly planning session. So
I think I've listened to the weekly planning session. It's really good.
I can't remember offhand what the episode numbers are, but I'll
share them
send
in the
those to
show
you.
notes. That's
Perfect.
fine. Well, and so many of your episodes are helpful and really hone in on a specific thing. Like I think one of my favorites is about to-do lists. But like really getting in there on
The nitty-gritty of
Yeah.
one specific topic is so helpful.
So helpful. Okay, so Alyssa is very interested in how to go from your pre-pandemic life to your lockdown life, where your schedule clears out, and to now your post-ish pandemic life, where your schedule starts to fill back up, but you're struggling with what to add back in.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice?
So the first piece of advice, or the first thing that we've got to remember, is that everything is temporary.
Right.
Okay. So I think that's one of the biggest things that has been sort of in our face, the biggest reminder throughout this whole pandemic.
That's about
That's
right.
what it is.
The
Yep.
pandemic is that in the beginning, we had our schedules, we had our pre-pandemic. Then the world was turned upside down, and then things changed, and then things changed, and then things changed again. And it's just been this constant series of navigating all these different changes. So the sooner that you can reckon with the fact that, hey, things are probably going to change again in about 2 weeks from some unknown whatever.
Right.
So let me hold on loosely to my plans, to my tendency to be rigid about structure, because I feel that. Especially pre-pandemic, I've got my schedule. How dare you ask me to move my time block? But now, especially having 2 kids, we can get a call from daycare at any moment.
Yeah.
We can find out any moment that daycare is going to be closed for the
Right.
next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And so the sooner that I don't know, it's very
accept.
Exactly.
Yes.
Accept that everything is temporary. It makes dealing with the changes just a little bit easier.
It's funny that you say that because we are having to make a decision right now on where Haven will go to kindergarten.
Mhm.
And I thought I was a flexible person
Mhm.
that was good with change and handled it gracefully.
Yeah.
And I have not handled this gracefully. We've
Really?
had some things at different schools, and things change based on where we thought we were going to go and whatnot. Some of it pandemic related.
Yeah.
And anyway, it has just been like so crazy and hard for me to make a decision.
Yeah.
And Tanner, my husband, said, "You're acting like whatever we choose is
That it's
permanent."
Right. Permanent.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Wherever she goes, if you are unhappy, we can change it at any time." And I was
Mhm.
like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so freeing to have that mindset because
Right.
I felt like I was making the biggest
And
decision
it's going to
of her
affect
life.
the rest of her life and
forever.
where she's going to go to college.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever taken Strengths Finder or Clifton Strengths?
No.
Okay, I would highly recommend doing it. It's
What is
called
this?
Clifton
Clifton?
Strengths. It
I don't
used to
know
be
this.
called Strengths Finder. They changed the
Okay.
name of it not too long ago. What it does is it's an assessment that gives you your top, the like cheaper, the free version, I think gives you your top 5 strengths. You can
Okay.
actually buy the full report and it will give you your 34. So there are
Whoa.
34 different strengths.
Okay.
And it will give
That's a
you
lot.
these ranked 1 through 34. Typically, people really hone in on their top 5 because when you know what your top 5 strengths are, it enables you to zero in on the type of work, the type of roles, the type of collaboration, like what you bring to a team, how you achieve and succeed. And it's just fantastic. Highly recommend it. But on the bottom end, knowing what that 34 is, knowing what
It's basically
those
a
bottom
weakness
ones
at
are.
that point.
Well,
They call them all
they
strengths.
call them all strengths.
Okay.
It's just less of.
But when you're aware about your weaker strengths,
Okay.
it gives you an opportunity to not try and turn those into strengths
Yeah.
because that's a waste of time,
Right.
but how to be aware and see how you can grow.
Right.
My number 34 strength is adaptability.
Oh. Okay. Which
My
is funny because we think we're okay at it because we do it all the time, but it could be done a lot smoother.
could be done a lot smoother, and the internal friction
Yeah.
that I feel
Right.
when certain types of change
Mhm.
happen, when I feel like I don't have the control. But because I know that my number 34 is adaptability, it helps me be mindful and remind myself, look, this is going to be hard for you.
Yeah.
So what can you do
Right.
to prepare yourself?
Being prepared
So-
is huge.
As a time management coach, one of the things that I do with my clients is create personality-based productivity solutions for
Mhm.
them. We work together to figure out, based on their personality, what's going to work best.
Mhm.
And
That makes
that's where
sense.
things like Myers-Briggs and
Right.
that's where things like StrengthsFinder comes in, because what works for me is not necessarily going to be copied and pasted over to you or to you.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
knowing yourself is just one of the most important things.
Even when you taught so we have a leadership class at our local board, and
Right.
Anna came and taught the leadership class and did the Myers-Briggs personality test. But you said something in that class about something being personal. Was it time management is personal, or I can't remember, but I think it was like, everyone wants the answer to time management.
Oh,
Mhm.
right.
But
it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, it's not
right.
one size fits all.
And I thought that was good.
Mhm.
People forget that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to know what the most successful people do in the morning, but just because that works for them doesn't mean it's going to work
guess
for
what?
you.
Katie's not a morning person.
Yeah, Anna's not either.
I mean, now my kids make me be a morning person,
Same.
but before kids, and I can only imagine in, 10 years when I don't have to get someone up and go to school, that might shift. I
Right.
am much more productive at 5 p.m. than I am at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, tell me about the miracle morning. I don't care about your miracle morning
Right.
because it's hard for me to get out of bed.
Mhm.
Like
It's a miracle to get out of
Thank
bed.
you.
Yes.
Doing the best I can over
Right.
here. But
Right.
also, we don't typically celebrate our strengths. We
Mhm.
more often kind of feel down on our weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you focused on? Well, guess what? I'm great at 5 p.m. Let's do something.
Do it. Rock and
what's
roll.
really funny? You were talking about the 34 strengths. So on this retreat I just went on,
Mhm.
we did this exercise where they gave us an affirmation sheet, and we're supposed to think of somebody else. Like I'm affirming Katie.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
So this sheet has about 50 really amazing adjectives on it. So you take a highlighter and you highlight all the things that make you think of Katie. And then on the right, you pick the top 5.
Okay.
So someone did it for me.
Uh-huh.
But all I could see was the things that they didn't highlight. I'm like, you don't think I'm loving? Like they highlighted about everything on there,
know,
but the only thing I
know.
saw was, why didn't you highlight this one? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm this way, but you don't think I'm this way?
Uh-huh.
But that was where I went.
We
Kind of
do.
the same thing with the strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You look at number 34 and you're like,
Oh, how can I fix this? Why
Yeah.
don't we just talk about, I'm so good at number 1.
Yeah,
right,
Why
exactly.
how can I do more of that?
instead of being flattered, I was like really hard on myself about
Yeah.
not being a certain way.
I mean, that's an Enneagram 3. You're a 3.
I am. We
Okay.
can't be all the ways.
No.
Right.
And I don't want to be all the ways.
Right. Me neither.
No, not at all. Okay. So
Actually, I do, but
You-
I need to accept that I can't be.
That's the 3 in you talking. Okay, let's get into some logistical stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about routines, because
Yeah.
those were obviously all shook up by this pandemic life.
Yeah.
And now we're getting back into, and it's towards the beginning of the year. Now this is going to air. We're still in the first quarter.
Hey, I'm calling it Fresh Start February.
I love that. Because everyone already gave up on the 100 overmotivated things they did. That's our new favorite term. by the way.
Overmotivated?
Overmotivated. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yeah.
We heard it. Where did we hear that?
I think we read it in an article.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a term that people get. Maybe they've had a lot of coffee, or they're having a really good day, or
Beginning
they're
of the
really,
year.
It's the
Yeah,
beginning of the year. Like
overmotivated.
something is triggering over motivation.
Got it.
And in the moment of over motivation, they fill their schedule.
The list is so
The
long.
list gets longer. I'm going to work out every day, and I'm going to make this many
Give up
calls and
sugar and
write
get
this
up at
many
5
letters. Yeah, I'm going
a.m.
to write all these
Miracle
letters
morning.
every day.
Yeah.
And then when the motivation wears off, they never implemented routines or habits or made actual
Yeah.
changes. And then they, quote unquote, fail.
Right.
And then they don't trust themselves to make
give up,
decisions
yeah.
again.
Right.
So they just are in this slump,
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
over motivated.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Hey, Lissa.
Hey, Katie.
Guess what?
What?
We have updated the email templates.
Finally.
Whoa! Hallelujah. They are updated and there are more of them,
Yes, we have 10 buyer templates,
right?
15 seller templates,
Mhm.
as well as a checklist for when to send all the emails at what point in the transaction.
Yes, so you don't have to guess when they go. It's very specific. This happens now, then you send this email. So
This is what they need to know.
this is what they need to know right now. Also, there are 6 attachments that go along with some of the seller side. So like move out checklist and showing prep or all that stuff. So there's all the information you will ever need to tell your clients in one of these templates.
Yes, and if you still aren't sure, you can go back and listen to episode 31, where we talk about the importance of the templates and why we use them.
Like, what are we even doing?
So we hope that they help you, because they have helped us so much.
Immensely.
And we have gotten so many wondreful reviews about how they have helped others. And so now they are up to date and ready for you.
Yeah, and you can go read reviews and all the information at emailtemplates101.com.
Lovely.
How easy is that?
Great.
Okay, y'all enjoy.
Bye.
So, in reference to routines, how do you feel like we can implement good routines? What are some tips for not getting overmotivated and then not doing the thing? Like, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I love that. I do think that we kind of have to separate over motivation and routines for just a second, because routines do tie into tackling over motivation. But I really believe that routines are the foundation of your day, regardless of if you're over motivated or under motivated.
Fair.
And that it really starts by having what I call the 5 essential routines. And those routines are a morning routine, which helps you, kick off your day, whether you do a miracle morning or you just roll out of bed.
Right.
An evening routine, which helps you wind down for a restful night's sleep. Adults really need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep in order to be at their best, both physically and mentally.
on the news this morning. They said if you add an hour and a half of sleep each night, you will lose 10 pounds in a year without changing anything else.
I would completely believe that.
That's amazing.
There have been studies done on high performing like athletes where they increased the amount of sleep that they were getting and then measured how they were performing, and there was definitely a huge correlation. Like sleep is huge.
Yes.
Sleep is huge. So the next is your Workday startup routine, which helps you rev up and get into the mindset of working for the day.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I think people think that's just part of their morning routine. But morning is like getting the kids out the house or getting yourself just dressed and showered and whatever you do.
Yeah. So Workday startup.
Okay.
Other end of the day is Workday shutdown.
That's
This
my favorite one.
Yes, this one is key. I'd say this one's probably my second favorite routine, if I could have a second favorite.
I like that one.
So the Workday shutdown routine is what gives you that mental mindset shift from work brain to not work brain.
Right.
It helps you set a clear boundary between primary working hours. And let's be real, if you're a realtor, you still have things that pop up in the evening, but during your Workday shutdown, you make the decision then and there what you're willing to work on in the evenings.
Yeah.
And then the fifth one is the most important, which is your weekly planning session. And so
most important.
Before you start thinking about all of the things that you're over motivated to do, having these 5 routines in place really serve as just the foundation of the rest of your life.
Well, and it's a daily foundation.
Yeah.
Like these are things you're going to repeat every single day. That the shutdown routine literally blows my mind because I sort of had come to it myself, not knowing what it was. And you affirmed me, and like shutting your laptop and walking out of the room that is my office at home is actually my shutdown routine.
Yeah.
Like
something about the noise of closing the laptop. I feel the same way.
Day's done.
Day's done.
I mean, and sometimes I treat my laptop like it is, because that's all I have. I don't have a desktop. But I sometimes act like it's a desktop. Like, oh, it's in the office.
Yeah.
Can't come out. Has to stay in there.
Yes.
That is where the work happens. And
That is
here
it.
is where the life happens. And we got to try and make it
100%. The lines are blurry, but you've got to figure out how to try and make it separate. You know, our brains are built to try and protect us from danger. Okay. Like at the core of it, our brains still think that we're like, I don't know, living in prehistoric times or something. But anytime that we have something unfinished, open tabs, someone that we're waiting to hear back from, a project that's not complete yet, our brains continue to cycle through this in our minds, which means that we're not restful and we're not present when we're supposed to be with our families or in our downtime. And that shutdown routine closes the loops. It doesn't mean that you're finishing every single project. It just means that you are having a point where you're saying, I am finished for today.
Right.
Yeah. I think I've shared before that before I walk into daycare, I make sure everything is addressed. That doesn't mean finished, but that may mean like, so whenever I'm in the parking lot, I pull up at her school and I just check because it's early. It's, 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So people are still working but my kids go to bed at 7. So I have this small window with them that I need to make sure is not interrupted.
Right.
So I go through my email and see if anything came through, and I reply with, great, I'm going to do this first thing tomorrow morning, about however many times I need to say that. If it's anything time sensitive, maybe it requires a little bit more of this or that. But I will sit in my car sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. The longest I've ever had to sit there was 45 minutes. But I won't go in until I have at least told everybody what to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's just so freeing to know that,
It is.
wow, I put that off until tomorrow and that's okay.
That's okay.
But people think they have to handle it right then. Like nothing can be put off,
Well, right. Just because someone else said it was urgent doesn't actually mean it's urgent for you.
Correct.
As long as you tell them what to expect.
And I really appreciate that example that you are setting for others who are listening, and they have this assumption that they have to handle things as soon as they come in.
Mhm.
And they have that feeling that they can never be off and that they're constantly pulled in all these different directions. But it really is a decision that you make. If you can do it, they can do it.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing that so I just got back from a realtor conference, and there were agents there that I'm friends with across from the state. So we don't see each other often, but they're like, how are you here when you have 2 kids and like you have your business and you're doing your transactions? And then I tell them, I have boundaries, and this is, if I don't have boundaries, I'll burn out.
Yeah.
So to stay well at work, I have to be well at home. And they're just like, I could never do that. Like, but why?
But why?
But what? But it is a mindset thing. And it was really kind of fun because there was one girl in particular that I had a lengthy conversation with, talking through it. And it was fun asking that question, like, okay, so what if you did tell them that you would do that first thing tomorrow morning? Or that, and she kind of was like she had never even thought, that thought had never occurred to tell a client to wait.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They don't mind waiting,
No.
but they do want to know what to
What's going
expect.
on? Yeah.
And then if you do that, and to see the light bulb come on was really exciting,
Mhm.
about, and then I was like, okay, now go listen to these podcast episodes.
Here's the list.
Here
Love
you go.
that.
Here's your list. Here
Yeah.
you go. I went and copy and
Homework.
pasted
There you go.
our list of episodes by category on boundaries. And I was like, here you go. Go.
Yes.
Go.
Go forth.
Go forth and do. All right, I have a question.
Sure.
In your coaching,
Yes.
do you find that there is kind of across the board, I know time management is person specific, but is there some time management practice that seems to make the most impact repeatedly?
Oh my gosh.
There is?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
What is it?
It's called the shiny things list.
Shiny.
The shiny things. I have my notebook.
Shiny.
I have my notebook. I'm going to
From-
show YouTube. It's like right here.
I am not sure. Did we talk about the shiny things list
I don't
in the
think
last
so.
episode?
Look, have you seen this?
Yes, I
this
love
is
that.
It's so good. You want to take one home? I have several. All right, tell us.
Okay, so Katie knows all about the shiny things list. And one thing that I have found is a common thread across all of my time management coaching clients, no matter the industry, whether they have kids, don't have kids, it's distractions. It is distractions. We are hit with a distraction somewhere around every 43 seconds. Especially when you're sitting at a computer or you have your phone nearby. So that means that a vibration, a ding, a ping, a buzz, something is there to distract us. And so first of all, we're constantly being hit by all of these external distractions. In the past year and a half to 2 years, how far are we into this now of the pandemic? More of us are working from home than ever before, which means that our environments are giving us more distractions than ever before. A kitchen sink with dishes is a distraction.
Yeah.
Your spouse who is also working from home, a distraction.
Yeah.
Your kid who's virtual schooling,
Super distraction.
super distraction.
high level.
I don't know how y'all do it.
And then on top of all of those distractions, there's the shiny things that bounce around in our heads. And so let's say that you have turned off all of your notifications. You have put your phone on airplane mode and you've set expectations with your family and you've cleaned up your environment and you're ready to actually sit down and focus and get work done. But then you remember that you're out of toilet paper.
Okay.
Right.
And
let me just hop on Amazon real quick.
Exactly. Let me just hop on Amazon. And so you go to Amazon and you remember that your mom's birthday's coming up. So you search for something for her real quick. And then you remember something else and you remember something else. And then you remember that you need to update the second paragraph of that report that you were working on. And the next thing you know, an hour and a half has gone by that you had set aside for important work.
Right.
And you've gotten almost nothing done,
Right.
Wow.
even though you've shut out all of the other distractions.
So what should you do when you remember the toilet paper?
When you remember the toilet paper, when you remember it's your mom's birthday, have a notepad next to you on your desk. You sit down, have a notepad next to you on your desk. And at the top of this notepad or a blank sheet of paper or a notebook, whatever, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we're going to decide how long are we going to work during this time block? What is this time block? What's the start time and what's the end time? Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allotted. And so what we're doing is we're creating a boundary. We're deciding what that end time is. Once you write literally 1 o'clock to 2:30 on your paper, below that, you write a list of 1 to 3, no more than 3 things that you are going to do in order during that time block that you've just created. So let's say the first is all of my March social media posts. The second thing is that you're going to write a blog post. And the third thing is that you're going to, I don't know, plan a party, whatever.
Right.
3 things. Because you're prioritizing, you're being very clear and specific about how you're going to use that time. Then below that, draw a line. Line in the sand, that's the boundary. Below that, write the word shiny things.
Show this again to the YouTube. YouTube.
Show it
we
to the
have
YouTube.
the actual.
Can you see it? I hope you can.
Yeah.
And look,
awesome.
Anna's so good. She put instructions on
There's
the back.
instructions on the back.
Can they buy this?
They not
No,
right now.
You don't have a shop?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a shop. It's an exclusive gift for
Okay.
When
you open
whenever-
shop, let us know.
Yes, I
'cause
will.
We need the shiny things.
But she's telling you how to do it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Although it is delightfully beautiful.
It is.
It
You
is.
can do it with a piece of paper.
Just get a piece of paper out.
Just
There's
get a
your
piece of
template.
paper.
Exactly.
All right,
There's
so we
your
drew
template.
the line in
Drew
the
the
sand.
line. You've written shiny things because we're going to call them what they are. And whenever
Yeah.
something pops into your head,
Mhm.
you write it on the shiny things list and you get back to work. You need toilet paper, write it down, get back to work. You've got something else that pops into your head. I need a reservation for whatever, write it down and get back to work. And then at the end of that time block, that's when you go back to your shiny things list and you look at the list. And this is where you have the opportunity to decide, okay, what do I need to do right now? What can I defer or schedule for later? What can I delegate to someone else? And what if this really isn't that important and I can just delete it altogether?
All D's. Did you catch that?
Mm.
Do it, delegate it, delete. What was the other one?
Defer.
Defer.
I love alliteration.
I do too.
Me
It
too.
makes me so happy.
Me too. So I find that that has been the most universally successful strategy for everyone that I've worked with
Do you
or
know what I
shared it
think
with.
is so great about that? A lot of us, all of us, like to overcomplicate things,
Mhm.
and it is really this. That is a very simple practice.
Mhm.
Pick an amount of time, do your top 3, the things you're supposed to be doing in that time, and then draw a line and write shiny things. It's very simple.
Mhm.
It's very easy to implement. It doesn't require you to buy a new planner
No.
or go get some kind of fancy tool or device or app. You just get a piece of
Yeah,
paper.
you don't need an app.
Really
That's-
easy. And I think we all want to believe that it's hard and that's why we're not doing it, but
Mhm.
it's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not
No.
hard.
And it's free. You just need paper. You
Right.
can use the back of a grocery bag.
I love it.
Mm,
I love
yeah.
it. Okay, so everyone should try that today. What else? What you got?
On my conference.
Because you're
I'm all
feverishly writing.
conference
You're
hyped.
feverishly writing notes.
Well,
so I
I'm
wanna-
taking it.
Are
well.
too.
Are you over motivated from your conference?
I'm over motivated for my second cup of coffee.
I love it.
But yes. So one thing that I thought was interesting when you were talking about routine
Mm-hmm.
is that how you said it's not based off of motivation.
Yeah.
The routine is just something you don't think about it. You just do it. It just is something that you have implemented.
Yes. Yes.
So it doesn't matter your energy level. He talked about that sort of. And
Mhm.
he said, for example, for him, I thought this was a good tip. He was trying to figure out why, no matter how many times he told himself he would do push-ups in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
he never did the push-ups. There was he couldn't motivate himself to do the push-ups every morning. So he said that putting a prompt in place
Mhm.
was helpful.
Okay.
Something mindless that you don't think about, you just do it. So he said his push-up prompt is every time the coffee is being brewed,
Okay.
he just gets
Does
on the floor
push-ups.
in the kitchen and does push-ups.
Okay.
He doesn't have an internal debate about what he wants to do.
No.
It's like he sleepily walks in, puts the coffee in, gets on the floor, does push-ups until it's done.
If A, then B.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like a mindless thing. And I
Mhm.
was like, that's a kind of a good idea.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it still takes a little bit of he said the biggest thing is not letting yourself debate with yourself.
Exactly.
Right? Like follow the prompt.
So we talked about the original question was about overmotivation and routines.
Right.
And I talked about routines as a part of our foundation. So here's the thing. When you are overmotivated or just normal motivated
Yeah.
and you want to start something new, you've got to design a system in order to make it happen. What we get tripped up with is that we decide, I'm going to do this, but we don't design how we're actually going to do it. And so setting yourself up with a habit to do that thing is what you really have to do. And so that looks like designing a habit with intention.
Right.
So when he said that the push-up prompt, there are 3 distinct pieces of a habit, the anatomy of a habit. There's the cue, which is the thing that triggers you to do the habit. That's his push-up prompt.
Okay.
So when the coffee dings, his cue triggers him to do the second part, which is the routine. The routine is the doing of the habit. And then the third part is the reward. And so the reward, very unfortunately, is the thing that most people leave out, which is the reason why habits don't stick.
Okay. Give us an example.
So rewards can be both intrinsic, like I did push-ups, I am amazing.
I'm going to put whipped cream on my coffee.
That's an external reward.
That's
so
funny.
Okay.
putting whipped cream on your coffee is an external reward, and it's something that you can look forward to. Intrinsic rewards, that feeling amazing after you do push-ups, that's the type of long-term reward that's going to truly keep you doing it. But it's the external reward, the whipped cream on your coffee, that's going to keep you doing it short-term while we're waiting for those intrinsic rewards to really kick in. A lot of times results take a long time. Like it's going to be a while before he starts to see a change in his body. And it's in that in between time that we lose steam. And so let's say that you want to start a new habit. Maybe it's, I don't know, starting that wind down habit that you do before you pick up your child from daycare. You have a cue, decide what will that cue be? Oh, it's pulling into the parking lot.
Yes.
I'm here, so now I do it. Then you do it. What is the reward? Honestly, that reward is going to be the amazing feeling that you have after. But so clearly design what that cue, routine, and that reward will be.
And even how you're talking about shiny things, so I do my shutdown routine. But if I look at my phone for anything after I pick up the kids, you can bet there is a list of things. Even if they're not important, they catch my eye, they distract me while I'm thinking about it and hearing, mommy, that's when I am like, hey, Vin, give me a second. Like, that's when I'm like, that's when you lose your cool. And it's like, only because I allowed myself to go somewhere else mentally when that wasn't in the plan.
Right.
So you are so correct that I think putting it away, and that's when you really do have to use paper or something else, because if you open your phone to write it in your notes, you will see everything else.
Yeah, we're absolutely conditioned at this point to, without thinking, open our phones and go to the app that is most addictive for us.
And then check all of them.
And then
check
all of them.
Speaking of that, I had in my notes, I didn't put this on here, I don't think, to ask you about how you set limits on scrolling, like Instagram, Facebook, anything, Pinterest, whatever. I mean, how do you set boundaries for yourself there?
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fully admit it. It's a struggle. I've certainly had periods of time where the first thing I did in the morning was grab my phone and wake myself up by looking at my screen. That's in the past has been the last thing that I look at before I go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And I just recognized that it was not a healthy pattern that I wanted to continue. I did not like the way it made myself feel. So I think you have to first, if you want to implement boundaries regarding screen time and scroll time, first you have to really identify why. Why is it that you want those boundaries? Is it because you want to feel better? You don't want that weird brain fog feeling? Is it because you recognize that you have shameful feelings about it that you don't want to feel anymore? Is it because you want to be more present with your kids? Whatever it is, the first thing you have to do is articulate why. Because if you don't, you have no true reason to stick to it. It's just going to be arbitrary. So after you recognize why, the babiest of baby steps is literally to just decide what time in the evening you're going to put your phone away.
Yeah.
What time in the evening you're going to put your phone away. Whether you set an alarm on your phone, that is called plug in the phone, or there's a time or there's a milestone in your evening. I typically put my phone away after I read Millie bedtime stories. So I finish bedtime stories, which that time can change
Right.
from night to
But
night.
that's your prompt.
But that's it. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's my trigger. That's my cue.
Your
That's
cue,
my prompt. I know, all right, I am done for the evening. I'll do one last check and then I'll go put it away because I want to be present with Scott
Mhm.
during the time that
Right.
I have left before we go to bed. And I don't want to fall into the trap of looking at Instagram
Mhm.
late at night
Yeah.
because of decision fatigue. That's when we're more likely to make bad decisions
Ooh, buying all the stuff.
and impulse buy.
Right. Lots of impulse
Gotcha.
buying. I have
Okay.
bought many things off of Instagram.
Yeah.
Some of them were okay.
Some of them
Alyssa
were
bought
okay.
a sweater that worked out
It was
okay.
a terrible sweater.
It was so funny.
You'll have to go look at it.
Yeah, she posted the
Was it the one
Instagram
with the very
version.
big turtleneck?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I have a short
For sure.
neck, so I can't do a lot of
No.
like turtleneck things.
It's so funny.
But that would be my first thing.
I have
Yeah,
a
that's
tip
helpful.
because it's hard to put your phone away at night if you're used to it, and if you're a like mindless scroller while you're also watching your shows, then you need a better show. Because I cannot pick up my phone while I'm watching Yellowstone.
Right.
Like,
Mm.
You want to be present there.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't miss anything.
what's the quote that's like, find friends that make you want to put your phone away?
Yeah.
You know?
Aw,
Right.
yeah.
Like, well, right. What is entertaining enough to hold your attention there? Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, well, let's watch the show. I don't
Yeah.
want my phone. And then in the morning, sometimes I'll see that because I turned mine to silent pretty early on,
Mhm.
but I'll see that I have like a text or an
Mhm.
email or whatever. I'm like, nobody died because I didn't answer.
No.
Right. And
Like,
then I
it was
think
fine.
they realize from the non-response that,
Mhm.
oh, it's late.
Yeah. Then I would get in my head though. If I texted somebody too late and they didn't respond, then I would be like, oh God, were
Sorry.
they sleeping? Did I
Sorry.
wake them up? Are they mad at me?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'd send like the
God.
apology text and then be like, oh, sorry, I probably just woke you up again by
Sorry,
apologizing.
sorry,
Oh my gosh.
sorry.
Okay, I'm logging off.
So sorry. Goodbye. Okay. I think when I made the questions for this episode and I was like,
Yeah.
how can I get Anna to tell us all the things of 2 years worth of her podcast in 45 minutes?
Did I do that?
You
We've
did.
hit a lot of really
We hit
important
a lot
topics.
of important topics. I guess my point is we don't have enough time to talk about all of the time management things we could talk about. But I think that everyone can go and then listen to your show, and the topics are very specific, so they can be like, oh, I don't have a problem with my to-do list, or man, I sure don't know what to do about this to-do list. And then they can go listen to that one.
Yeah.
So I think
Just
there's
scroll
a
by
lot of-
topic and see
yeah,
what
there's
they
a lot
need.
of options there. Tons of
Mhm.
good content. And I love, when you interview people who then tell us how they do it
Mhm.
too, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Do you
One
have-
last question.
Please.
Do you sleep with your phone by your bed?
I
Like
don't.
when you put it away, where do
Yeah.
you put it?
I don't. I actually have my phone plugged in across the room on our dresser.
Okay.
And so to let you in on like a peek of what life has looked like lately, I've been getting up at around, I have an alarm that goes off at 5:05.
Okay.
An
So-
alarm clock.
Alarm. Well, like my phone goes
Oh,
off.
you got to
Oh,
get
okay.
up to turn it
5:05.
off. That would make me
Oh.
insane.
I
Yep.
get up to turn it off.
What you gotta do?
And then I go in the bathroom and I turn on the heater.
Okay.
And then I get back in bed.
Okay.
Oh.
I know. So I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to tell anybody that there's
How do
one
you
way to
then
get up in
out
the
of
morning.
bed again.
I take my phone in the bed with me and I
Okay.
have a second alarm
Okay.
set for 5:20.
Okay.
So I like get back in the bed and
Uh-huh.
but somehow between like 5:05
Uh-huh.
and getting up to do the heater and 5:20,
Uh-huh.
like I just kind of start waking up.
Okay.
I get out
Are you
of
looking at your phone?
I'm not.
Okay, you just have it for the alarm.
Yes, just have it for the alarm.
Oh.
Get up and then I like get dressed and then I like head to the office for a little bit of like early morning focused quiet time. I'm
Mhm.
working on a book proposal right now.
Oh, yay!
And
Very exciting.
And so that definitely requires some, quiet time
Yeah.
before the day starts.
Mhm.
And that's what my mornings have looked like lately. And it
Wow.
starts by having my phone plugged in
Mhm.
across the room.
Okay. So when you put your phone away after bedtime stories, that's where it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Mm-mm.
She's covered. Okay. That was great. Thank you. We could have you back every week and talk about time management. Do you have a toast?
Yes.
Who do you want to toast to?
I would love to toast my husband, Scott.
I think Scott is hilarious.
Scott, I'm a big fan of him.
should
That's
be.
like a big reason why I married him. Because
So
I thought
Katie
he was
knows
so
Scott
funny.
because she was their realtor.
Yeah, since you've last been here, I got to sell you and Scott a house.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is quite the thing.
So fun.
He's a funny guy.
He's a lot of fun. But
Okay,
yeah,
so-
I've gotten to experience the Katie Caldwell like
The whole thing.
folder
I- oh,
experience,
good.
the
She's
organization.
She's seen it all.
It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Huge
Okay,
fan.
Thank you.
Huge fan. Huge
That
fan.
makes me so happy.
Okay, Scott though.
Yeah,
Scott. Back to Scott.
I'm
Back
a
to
huge
Scott.
fan of him as well. So
Great.
Fair.
so Scott actually quit his full-time job in January and is now working from home in my business and is just such an amazing support to our family. I mean, he already was before, but it's so awesome because we're now working together. He's really beginning to learn the ins and outs of a coaching business, a podcast. He's now basically my podcast
You
producer.
basically have a J.
Yeah.
You got a
She got a
J.
J.
And
Wow.
on top of all of the amazing things that he does in the business, he starts prepping dinner at around 2, like 3.
Okay.
So that dinner is completely done by the
Mhm.
time he goes to pick up the girls. And
Mhm.
so we're just able to go straight into family time and
Mhm.
dinner. And
what a
with,
big help.
with me working Pacific time hours.
Hard, yeah.
Well, when you said that, I was wondering, like,
The logistics.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine being.
Mhm.
But he meal plans, he
Love it.
does the groceries. I'm just so grateful for just all of it.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to like work from home with him. It's going
Yes.
really well.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So yeah, cheers to Scott.
Cheers
Good job, Scott.
Yes, way to go, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Man, making it happen.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, everyone, please go listen to It's About Time. Actually, tell us where they can find you before we jump off.
Yeah, so I would love for you to tune into It's About Time wherever you listen to podcasts. I have new episodes that drop every Monday on a time management topic, or like Katie says, an interview with a go-getter to find out how she is getting things done. And also, come find me on Instagram. Let's be Instagram friends. I love hanging out over there. Send me a DM, ask me a time management question, or just ask me a question about anything, and let's talk.
Okay.
Great.
And it's Anna Dearmon Kornick.
Anna D.
D.
Kornick.
Okay, it's got the D.
Anna D.
Anna D.
Kornick.
Kornick,
Anna
friends.
Dearmon Kornick was too long.
That is kind of long.
It is
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, okay, you did the right thing.
Anna D. Kornick.
I like it.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week. Bye.
This is the good life.
We're recording. Are we recording the video?
Sure are. Come on, Marcy.
Something smells good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Her
bring you
lotion
some
is.
oat milk hand lotion.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Almond vanilla blossom and vanilla blossom.
Sort of like a cookie on your hands. Okay, before we start, is there anything that you want us to specifically talk about?
I'm just up for a free-flowing time management conversation. on
Delightful.
anything.
That's
I don't
great.
have anything specific to
Okay, great.
talk
That's
about.
exactly what we
talk
wanna
about.
talk
All the things.
We do have these questions that we sent
Questions,
you,
Yeah.
which we'll get to.
She has this amazing link in her website that is 3 different bios. Have you seen- it is so cute. I have to show you.
Please let me see it.
My media kit page,
It
I
is
have
so cool.
3 different length options for bios so that you can just grab whichever bio you want.
I like that you're just tooling around her website. Like,
Well, I had to introduce her for the.
you went to get the bio.
Yeah.
Fair.
It is where? It is. Work with me? No.
Media. It's actually a media kit page that is not super
Oh,
obvious.
it's not on your.
It might be like way.
I have it.
down.
I have it right here.
Okay.
Okay. So looking
Thanks.
for Anna's official bio. Short, 50 words.
Oh,
Medium,
yes.
long. And I read the long one, and it was not long. Like it was not
You were
like,
like long, but
yeah, but still very good and concise and great information.
You read that to introduce her?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a genius.
And I was like, I have 3 options.
I cannot tell you how many times a bio has been requested 50 words or less. This words or less. This words or less. And so I just took that collection of requests and was like, all right, let's make 3. And then I can just send people straight to the media kit page.
It's a good system.
Makes it easier for me too.
Genius.
Wow.
Okay, so that's when we air. Year 134.
and you have a toast, then we're good to go.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do this.
Sorry.
It's good to just,
That's all right. I'm
I have
chomping on my nin
one,
gum.
one less cough.
Okay, perfect. All right.